go camping more and have tended campfires, or like were camping as children, have a very different relationship in my experience than people who are mostly, people who live in urban areas are in general, in my experience, more prone to being afraid of fire than people who live in rural areas where they say heat their house with a stove. So exposure is a big part of it. We have very little culture in urban areas where fire is normal. Like you can't even have a fireplace in some cities because because of the emissions. Like even as a fire dancer, when I started heating my home with a wood stove, changed my relationship to fire again on a whole other level. It's exposure and practice. And then even in that setting, that's a very different setting than I am spinning these fireballs around my body and I hit myself with my poi sometimes. That's scary. But once you see the difference between, like once you understand the difference between fire-safe fabric and less fire-safe fabric that will melt to you versus fabric that will burn, but it won't melt to your skin. Once you know what the risks are, you'll have a different relationship to it as well. I mean, part of it is just knowing enough to not feel completely at risk by the process. I mean, but it seems like that's part of what makes it awesome, right? It seems, oh my God, it's fire. But we're gonna leverage that so that you're really an illusionist when you're a fire dancer. People don't tell you that, but that is really what's going on. When I'm doing that buzzsaw like this, that is not a hard move to do, but on fire, that looks so impressive. And that's why it's such a great performance move, because your average audience has no idea. They're like, oh my God, that fire is so close to your face. Now, it is much more dangerous if you're doing this and the wind is coming this way than if you're doing it and the wind is coming this way from behind you, right? So there's common sense things, but you wouldn't think about it until you're actually in the moment with the fire. This is my job. My job is to help demystify for you something that you're going to use to manipulate your audience. And even if your audience is just yourself, because you're looking at it later, you're like, damn, I look like a pro.